Hey, did you hear the breaking news?
I did. We got an email today, actually, this morning.
Yeah, so the CDC has announced that we are immediately to be added to the cast of Knives Out too.
Yeah.
So thank you to all our viewers who got us to this point. We really do appreciate it, and we wouldn't be anywhere without you.
This was, of course, this came as a personal favor of Ryan Johnson to us. He
Hmm.
owed us one because he recognizes, as we have often said, that our continual support for his original film Knives Out has been integral in its success on DVD and Blu-ray. And so the least he could do is cast us in major roles in Knives Out too.
Yeah, and I also think like The Last Jedi is one of the better Star Wars movies. I feel like a couple months ago, I was a little like, well, I don't really like the thing they do at the casino. I don't really like all these new force things they try out. But in the past 24 hours, I have realized that this is an incredible movie. I mean, he tried so many things that no one ever did in Star Wars. I
He
mean,
broke
George
new
Lucas,
ground.
yeah, George Lucas is groveling at his feet to ask him to make a new trilogy now.
I also believe that the movie Looper is perhaps the greatest science fiction film ever made.
Hmm.
Only second, perhaps, to Ryan Johnson's other science fiction classic, The Last Jedi. I
Right.
think Looper is a wonderful film, which I definitely saw with the other millions of people that definitely saw that movie.
Hmm.
And Tom Hardy, who I believe is in it, who I know is in it,
Hmm.
uh,
You're right, because you've seen it.
delivers right, delivers the greatest performance of his career. So uh, Ryan Johnson, of course, you're welcome for agreeing to grace your film with our presence. So
Yeah. And with that, happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to our new episode. This is in fact a new episode. I know we praise Ryan Johnson on every episode, and it gets a little repetitive, but this is a new episode, and and we're gonna talk about Ryan Johnson a lot, aren't we?
it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt, not Tom Hardy. Damn it.
Okay.
We've
Joseph
been
Gordon-Levitt, one of my favorite actors. Not kidding.
recent update. We have been recast from Knives Out
We've
2
been
after that slip up.
We have been canceled and subtracted from the cast. We will be replaced by
Army Hammer and Gal Gadot.
Armie Hammer and Gal Gadot will be replacing us. Uh, in addition, James Corden will be replacing Daniel Craig.
Yes.
So it might be a little bit of a challenge learning that accent since he's so British, but I think he'll, you know,
They
he's got a
only
lot of
cast
talent.
British people for that role.
Yeah. Um, so we of course do we want to start with the Knives Out 2 news?
Yeah, I suppose we should.
So every day since I think it's been Monday,
Like Monday, yeah.
we've been we have been gifted with a new piece of news each day about who's joining the cast of Knives Out 2, starting with Dave Bautista, then Edward Norton, then Janelle Monáe, and finally yesterday was Catherine Hahn. We're awaiting today's casting. If I was a betting man, I would say it'll be, um, hmm, I think it'll be J.J. Abrams added to the cast.
Yeah. I think it'll be
They've,
Roman Polanski added to the cast.
yeah, Ryan Johnson and J.J. Abrams have a great relationship, I'm sure. I don't see why it wouldn't continue.
I think
Um,
it'll be Daisy Ridley will in fact be a member of this cast, or Mark Hamill with like a gun pointed to his back the entire time.
yeah. Um, do you think there's going to be any Star Wars actors added?
Probably not.
You don't think?
I remember in all those interviews, they didn't seem to be very happy with the way that second movie went,
True.
or really without the third movie. No one in Star Wars seems to like it.
Yeah. That's
It's
fair.
different from like in Star Trek. I feel like all the Star Trek actors are like talking about Star Trek all the time and how much they enjoyed being in it. But with Star Wars, everyone involved in it has been very open on how much of a negative experience it's been on their lives, their careers.
Yeah. So yeah, do you enjoy the promise of this cast so far? I know we've
I
only got
do.
4. Yeah.
Janelle Monáe and Edward Norton, and everyone else too. But those two names specifically made me that secured to me that I had to see this movie.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
love Edward Norton in like regular stuff or like in non. He's one of those my favorite like dramatic actors to see in comedic stuff.
Right.
Like in Grand Budapest Hotel, it's one of my favorite parts of the movie. Really, in all the Wes Anderson stuff,
Uh-huh.
and Sausage Party as well.
Yeah.
He's funny in that.
There's this one movie he's in. I'm gonna try to describe it best I can, but Helena Bottom Carter's in it. I believe we do see Brad Pitt for a little bit, although I'm not sure who
Hey,
he was
you're
playing.
talking about it.
No, I feel like if I was talking about it, I would like say what it's called. That's why I'm
Uh,
avoiding it. So I think I liked that movie he was in. I feel like my memory was wiped after I watched it, so it's a little fuzzy. But
I think
yeah, I
the
don't
movie
know.
you're talking about is Ang Lee's The Incredible Hulk, which
Yes.
uh, I think that yeah, I agree. Probably Edward Norton's breakout performance.
Yeah, with Brad Pitt as Thor. That's who he played. I forgot.
Was
Um,
that no? Was that the Ang Lee one that he was in? No, that was the new one
he
that
was
Edward
in the
Norton was
newer
in.
one that is like
Canon, but
considered to
not
still
canon.
exists because Mark Ruffalo replaced him.
It's weird because that's a canonical movie, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think they're actually bringing they're bringing back someone in the She-Hulk series that they're doing for Disney Plus in like a couple years. They're bringing back the villain from that. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
So
hmm,
yeah, they're kind of continuing it, just saying he was recast. But they've done that in more than once. Like Terrence Howard was originally Rhodey, who is now played by our Lord and Savior Don Cheadle.
okay, that's good.
Um, Still waiting the Don Cheadle word of the day,
I
along
think
with the
today
Knives
will
Out
be.
2 casting.
I think today it'll be Knives or
What if
Knivey.
Don Cheadle is today's Knives Out casting?
I don't think. Maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Come on, that'd be great.
It would be, but I don't think we're gonna see that.
Um, so I'm happy about this cast. I think Catherine Hahn's gonna be a lot of fun in this kind of movie because like she'll kind of be the way Chris Evans was, I think, in the last movie. Like everyone like over the top kind of he was like the playboy, like always wore those fancy sweaters and
The cable knit sweaters.
yes. And Catherine Hahn, of course, is probably like if anyone knows how to ham it up, it's probably her, as we saw in WandaVision. So
That's the thing. Like I've always enjoyed when you get a dramatic actor and you put him in a comedy. It's always funny to me.
yeah,
Leslie Nielsen effect. And I really hope, or I guess probably the Doctor Strangelove effect. I think that's maybe the first one where you really got to see a dramatic actor like humiliate himself on camera.
yeah,
And I just look forward to more of that. I really hope we can keep seeing this for the Knives Out cinematic universe.
yeah. I'm interested in the Dave Batista casting though, because he's basically talked about like all this week how he's pretty much like done with Marvel after the third Guardians of the Galaxy and like wants to do new things, and he's starting out with a bang. He's got that Zack Snyder movie coming out, or maybe it's already out.
Army of the Dead, right?
Yes.
I think it did come out, and to
Okay.
kind of little hurrah.
Okay. But yeah, Dave Batista is trying to, I think expand his horizon, his palette. And I think this is a good movie to do that because, everyone is someone different in this kind of movie. No one's the same character. The first one's one of my favorite movies, and this cast is very good already. So I was going to see it no matter who was in it. Now that I am in it myself, I guess I do have to see it. Um, but yeah, do you think? Go ahead. Did you have something to say?
Well, I just want to say that as members of the cast, we do in fact. I have the Ryan Johnson just forwarded me the script, so
Okay, can't leak it.
you know who did it. We know who did it in the
We
end.
know who did it. Oh, turns out it was Edward Norton.
Turns out it was Ryan Johnson who was a character in the movie. He murdered everyone.
Um, what was I gonna say? Do you think any of these four who have already been cast? Obviously, it's hard to tell without seeing any footage or whatever. Do you think any of these four are gonna be the killer?
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe unless it's something like that movie Identity, where like none
Right.
of them did it. It's like someone else. Like it's a force that's kind of outside the narrative.
Yeah. It was
Which would
J.J.
be if you want a
Abrams.
twist. That's a
I
good
do want a
twist.
twist. The twist with the last one was that basically no one was murdered.
Well, one person got
Spoilers.
murdered.
Right, but oh yeah, true. The Fran,
Right? She got murdered.
yeah, she worked at the house. But
That's unfortunate. I'm sad that
it
she
was
got killed.
unfortunate. Seemed like a nice lady.
Yeah.
Um so I don't know. The one thing I'm thinking about with this one is, obviously it's going to be a whodunit because it's, same investigation team. Do you think it's going to be like, I don't know, basically how different do you think they're going to go about this?
I imagine it'll be a different. I'm sure it's not going to be like the exact same thing. Maybe it's going to be in a new exotic location.
Right.
Maybe it'll also be, I don't know, just about. I guess this time it's probably not going to be about like a rich old family or something.
Yeah.
I imagine this might be just the comedic parallel to that new Poirot series that's coming out.
Okay.
Like we had Murder on the Orient Express, and then we had Death in the Nile. Maybe this will
Did
be the
that come out yet, Death on the Nile?
No, it didn't, and
Okay.
that's. I mean,
Who's in the cast for? Isn't Gal Gadot actually in that one?
Gal Gadot and Army Hammer are both
Are you
in.
serious?
Gal Gadot and Army Hammer, and that girl from Black Panther who got in trouble for being like,
Oh,
I don't want
Letitia
the
Wright.
vaccine. Yeah, she's also in it.
Oh my
Tisha Wright.
god. Army Hammer, isn't it? Are they gonna release this? Are they gonna cut out Army Hammer from the movie?
I think at this point, didn't he already get cut? No, that was Chris D'Elia who got cut out of Army of the Dead and replaced by another actor
Right.
digitally, which is humiliating.
That's like canceled.
That means that they're literally taking away your paycheck and giving it to someone else
Yeah.
because they really don't want your name on it.
I just looked up the cast and Russell Brand is in this movie.
Oh, Death on the Nile, and
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh is
Yeah,
Poirot.
he's our detective.
Hercule
Uh
Poirot.
Annette Bening, Tom Bateman.
Every
Um
mystery, they've always got like an all-star cast. That's how you know it's going to be good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think this cast is very, very good so far. I was surprised by some of the names. I don't know who I expected, but once I saw Edward Norton, I was like, "Whoa, that's pretty cool."
I think it's kind of with Knives Out. I'm more willing to back that one. Although I didn't see Murder on the Orient Express, people tell me it was pretty good. I
Hmm.
think this why would you remake a mystery that was already pretty big? Seems beyond me. Because it's like you watch the movie and now you always know who did it.
Right.
Which, I mean, I guess people do that with plays. People do old mystery plays.
Hmm.
But it's like, Murder on the Orient Express, I feel like has a pretty famous twist.
Yeah.
And so I never saw the remake because I'm like, well, now I know the ending and it's a mystery. So that's the point, is to figure out the ending. So,
Josh Gad's in Murder on the Orient Express.
oh, he is. Does he
Yeah,
play the knife that stabs Johnny Depp several times?
probably. How much would you bet Army Hammer is the killer in Death on the Nile?
I haven't seen the original, so I
Hmm.
don't really know for this one.
Oh, this one's a remake too.
Yeah, both
Okay.
of them. uh, Like Murder on the Orient Express is like, the remake of the one from the 70s.
You're
And
right.
that one had a sequel, Death on the Nile. And this is the sequel.
Did they
But
follow like beat by beat? They didn't change the killer, I imagine, or the twist, whatever it is.
from what I've heard from people about the remake, it keeps the same twist.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I guess that's a famous twist. It'd be weird if they redid it
Yeah.
because that ends so perfectly. But maybe they'll redo the twist in Death on the Nile. I don't think they will.
Yeah,
Agatha
I don't
Christie
know.
is an old writer.
It's just like when the ending's already out there, obviously you can go in watching that movie as your first experience with the,
Yeah.
franchise or whatever. But
Well, those movies are based on this series of books from like the 30s.
yeah, Agatha Christie, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
See,
So
one
yeah.
of her, I did read one of the Agatha Christie books, and it was, and then there were none. I loved that book as a kid.
Yeah, I have heard good things about that. I have not read it myself though.
I
I'm
want
too busy
Knives Out
reading.
2 to be one. I think I said this, I don't know if I said this last time, but I want Knives Out 2 to be one of the mysteries where it's like they're all like in an old mansion, or like they're on top of a mountain, or they're in
Mhm.
like the desert or whatever. They're in some secluded location, and it's like, oh, we're dying one by one. The killer's one of us, and they got to get
Mm,
together and be like, who's killing us all? Like Clue, basically.
yeah, that'd be great.
That's my favorite kind of movie. I love that kind of movie.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
It's like,
I would
who's
like
doing
that a lot.
it?
I hope they mix it up a lot every, because obviously we're getting a third one, and after that, who knows? Because I'm
Then
sure
our
then
screenplay might get picked up for
right, yeah,
Spiral from the Book of Knives Out.
eventually we'll be in like Knives Out 7 or 8.
Yeah. It'll be like the Star Wars, the Knives Out trilogy, then the Knives Out prequel
Yeah.
trilogy, then the Knives Out sequel trilogy.
Dude, the Knives Out prequels are not as good as the originals.
Me personally, I prefer Rogue One and Knives Out story.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I'm excited for this, no matter if Justin Bieber gets casted or not. Um, so
I
yeah.
gotta feel bad for that guy, Justin Bieber. He went from being like an internet punchline in like 2013 to being no one.
Yeah, he's such a nobody right now. He has nothing going for him.
I know. Who even knows who Justin Bieber is?
All right. Anything else on Knives Out 2 or
Uh,
Knives Out 3?
Knives Out 3, that's the one that we've actually been, our screenplay has been greenlit for Knives Out 3, so we
Yep.
can't tell you who the killer is.
Yeah,
And we can't say that it is played by James Corden.
we're writing and producing and performing.
And co-directing with Ryan Johnson.
Yep. Anyone you would want to see join this cast now that we know some of them, like anyone who's worked together before? I don't know.
I want, I always say this, I want Steve Buscemi in this movies.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's who I want next. If Steve Buscemi's released today, you're welcome.
Yeah, you may have called it. I'll throw a name out there. Give me Oscar Isaac. How about that?
Oh yeah, that's part of the Star Wars people though. So
I know. So that
might be dangerous.
it would be dangerous, but um
Might be busy making Dune right now. I guess the movie's already done.
you know what just popped into my head for a really weird reason.
What?
What if this would be a big enough cast? What if we had Knives Out like 3, but it was just within the Weasley family? Since there's like 20 of them.
I don't watch enough Harry Potter to get through.
Okay. Well, there's Fred and George, the twins. Then we
Yeah.
have Ginny. Then we have Bill. Then we have Ron. And then we have Percy. Then we have Arthur and
Ron,
Molly. So
Ron
that's
is Harry's friend, right?
Ron is Harry's best friend. Yes.
Okay.
The ginger. Um, it would be a big enough cast. We would be promoting diversity by casting gingers,
Right.
and I think it would work well.
I I cannot even pretend to know anything about those books. I barely know the characters' names. I
Yeah.
read, even though I read the first one, but I was also like in fourth grade when I read it. So
Hmm. Okay. So, yeah. I just gave you your idea for Knives Out 3, Ryan.
Ryan,
Have we ever talked about the way Ryan Johnson's name is spelled? How do you feel about it?
I remember I made a tweet once that said it was yesterday when you made your thing, and I was like,
Okay.
"Hey Ryan, we owe you one," and I deleted it because I remembered. Wait, his name isn't spelled. It's like
Ryan.
for a minute I was like, "Isn't it like Raian or something like that?" But no, it's the most like kind of inconvenient way that you could spell your own name.
Yeah. My sister's name is Ryan, Ryan.
Wow,
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson, Ryan Young.
No, not Johnson. Unless I have a long lost brother.
Ryan Young is a very neat sounding name.
Yeah. Ryan Young is graduating from college today. So she doesn't watch the show, but congratulations. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Now you have that
Gay
piece of
episode.
knowledge. Yeah. All right. Do you want to talk about the Venom 2 trailer?
Yeah, Venom 2. Oh, I saw this. Did you see it?
Venom 2, Let There Be
Let there be
Venom. Yeah.
carnage. Let there be carnage.
I know.
So about as silly. It looks to be about as silly as the first one.
Did you see the
I,
first one?
I did. I saw it in
Okay.
theaters, and I remember at first I couldn't tell if this was supposed to be a joke or not, and then by the end I was like, "Oh, it is. This is
Mhm.
supposed to be garbage."
Yeah.
And it's entertaining garbage. It's wild and kind of dumb enough to make for pretty good schlock most of the time, and the
Okay.
sequel seems to be more of the same.
Yeah, I think this one's kind of taking itself less seriously. It kind of looks like, well, if you look at the opening at least.
Well, yeah, it begins like a sitcom. It begins with
Yeah.
like him messing up the apartment. He writes notes to himself that's like, "Hey, don't eat people."
Yeah, that's pretty good. Um, and do you like Tom Hardy?
I love Tom Hardy is one of those actors who I'm happy to see in anything.
I agree. He's great and he's
He
British.
really buoyed that first one, also.
Really?
Yeah, that was like all him, that first movie.
I can confess I did not. I've seen like 5 minutes of the first one because I caught it on TV one time, then I didn't watch it. I know isn't Riz Ahmed the villain?
Yes,
I
yes.
like Riz Ahmed in anything. So if I go to see the second one, which I imagine I will, I'll probably watch it before.
I hope there's more like turd in the wind lines.
Oh yeah.
He said, "I'll eat your arms and your face until you're nothing but a turd in the wind." I hope there's more things like that.
Yeah, that'd be good. Um,
Or Venom or Tom Hardy jumping into a fish tank. More stuff, that kind of stuff.
does that happen in the first one?
It does. He jumps into a lobster tank, actually.
Great. Um, this one's got Woody Harrelson.
Oh,
You
does
didn't see,
this?
he's Carnage.
He is.
He's the Carnage in Let There Be Carnage, yeah.
He's what's his name? Cletus Cassidy.
Yes.
Is that by Woody Harrelson? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he's got like red hair. Um he's looking like a pretty wild man. I think was there like a post-credit scene teasing him in the last one?
I think his name was mentioned.
Okay.
like something Cletus Cassidy.
So yeah, he's a pretty wacky looking dude. I love
Marvel's
Woody
Joker, of
Harrelson.
course,
Yes, Marvel's Joker. John Walker will also be making an appearance in this.
as the U.S. agent.
Yes, with Kurt Russell coming back too. So we have Kurt and Wyatt
Julia
Russell.
Julia Louise Dreyfus is going to make an appearance and say,
Yeah.
"The world needs a little bit of carnage."
And then we'll find out that Jerry Seinfeld has actually been cast as Galactus. And
Mrs. Galactus is, of course, 15 years old.
yes, and Kramer has been cast as a Reed Richards.
I think Kramer has been cast as the Joker.
That'd be great.
Kramer, no, the Laugh Factory.
So yeah, I love Woody Harrelson. I think he's good in everything.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to see him be a madman.
He plays a madman in The Edge of 17,
He
but his
doesn't play a
madness
madman, I wouldn't
is
say.
his realness.
I think he plays a pretty mellow man.
He's mad because he's so real.
Yeah. That's a great performance by Woody Harrelson in that movie. It is. That's such a good movie.
It's produced by James L. Brooks. I remember being
Really?
this is very James L. Brooksy watching.
Okay. I just love coming of age movies, and I'm writing one
I hope to
currently
be
too.
one myself.
Yeah, I do. I yeah, I don't know. I think this looks cool. I think himself looks pretty cool when he's like, not Woody Harrelson and he's CGI.
Mhm.
Um, I know he's like one of the more violent comic book characters, right?
Well, Venom and Carnage as well kind of came out in that and I think this is what these movies are getting pretty right is the 90s era of comic books was probably one of the stupidest.
Uh-huh.
Like that's where you had just lots of bloody, gory violence,
Yeah.
where you had women whose spines curved inwards, or they curved outwards to make like a C shape. It's where it,
Everything
a
was right.
13, everything was great. A
Yeah.
13-year-old kid reading comics at that time had the time of his life. That was the perfect time for a teenage boy to get into comics. It was
Probably.
probably like the mid 90s, around the time Spawn was really big. The
Hmm.
Spawn comic. And Rob Liefeld was drawing everything.
Right. Um, yeah, I'll probably see this one. Woody Harrelson and Tom Hardy, pretty great. That's all I have to say. Michelle Williams too, right?
Right.
She's pretty good.
She's good. She was in the first one
Yeah.
as
No Riz
Venom.
Ahmed this time.
I don't think so. Because
Okay.
he gets defeated at the end of the first one.
That's a shame. I was rooting for him.
I think it's weird how Venom is this large hulking monster, and then Michelle Williams becomes Venom, and she's like supermodel Venom.
Yeah.
I remember being that's it's odd how the Venom symbiote affects different sexes
Right.
quite
Right. Yeah.
quite variably.
Why are you different looking? Yeah. Um what was I gonna say? So something new popped into my head, which never happens. Um I I'm actively imagining right now, since I said I was rooting for Riz Ahmed, a guy who or a girl, whatever, could be either. Um Actively rooting for the quote unquote antagonist in comic book movies in the movie theater, like they're watching sports, like they're cheering them on, and it's like, let's go, Thanos! Like, come on! And because they're gonna lose, but
Yeah.
it's like rooting for your son's little league team, and you're really invested in them, and you're just hoping for the best, but at the end of the day, there is no hope, and it's not going to end how you want it to.
Well, if your son is a champion like mine, then
Right.
there's a lot of hope.
Yeah.
You mean someone like hoping for like Carnage to win?
Hmm. Yeah, or just like any like let me think of another, like someone rooting for.
Like the Green Goblin, like, yeah, kill
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Just an active superhero hater.
Me watching Batman, of course I'm rooting for the Joker.
Yeah, I mean, he's the best. I
Yeah.
relate to him and I love him.
Rooting for
um
Travis Bickle, yeah, take out. Kill them all, Travis.
how about this one? Rooting for Jigsaw in the movie Spiral.
Jigsaw is not in the movie Spiral.
Jigsaw's not. Well, I didn't see the movie, so I'll let you take this
So I did see Spiral, which is the ninth Saw film.
one. Wow.
Jigsaw is oft mentioned. Not he. Maybe this is a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. They say it in the trailer. He's not in it.
Uh,
Or the Jigsaw that we know.
well, who's the villain? Oh, it's a different Jigsaw.
Well, no, it's a different. It's a whole different thing that's just set like in the same universe, kind of.
Oh, okay.
As a movie, it's not the worst Saw. It's probably in the better half of Saws, but it's not a great film.
Hmm.
It's Chris Rock is our lead. He's our leading guy. So much of this movie is Chris Rock like doing stand up. Like he'll like there's one scene where they're like it's in the beginning and they're in a subway and Chris Rock is just like talking about marriage with like his new partner and it's just Chris Rock doing a stand-up bit, and it's like he's playing a serious cop, and he's just doing stand-up in the middle of a movie. But that's the best part of the movie. That's some of the
Yeah,
best stuff in it. Is when he's
it's
just
funny.
doing stand-up. I mean, Chris Rock,
Chris
he's
Rock's great. He's always funny.
yeah, he's not a bad dramatic actor. It's just
Yeah,
like
he's
he's
Chris
doing.
Rock.
It's like he's Chris Rock. Everything he
Yeah.
says is funny. They might as. I was watching it with a friend, and I said, they might as well have cast Charlie Day. They might as well have cast Charlie
Yeah.
Day as the serious detective, just because even though he's giving a good performance, everything he says is hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's like this gory police procedural, and Chris Rock is at the center of it. And it's everything. Like it'll be like they've delivered. Jigsaw has delivered a package, and he opens it up, and it's like a human jaw, and he
Hmm.
goes like, "Is this a jaw?" And it's so funny. It's just so funny. The the bloody traps, like
Uh-huh.
as we know, Saw is famous for is the
Yeah.
traps. And I will say the traps weren't. They were kind of convoluted a little bit this time, but they kind of always are.
Hmm.
I forgot which one had just like a giant industrial like meat grinder that someone was dangled in front of, and I just kind of we've gone a long way from just having like a saw and
Yeah.
like a guy strapped to a radiator.
Is it the meat grinder they use in a Kingsman, the Golden Circle?
I didn't see that movie. I think
Uh,
it is the meat grinder they used in Pink Floyd's The Wall, though.
okay. There are
Yeah.
various types of meat grinders. So
Some of
glad
these
we.
traps are just too big, though. They're like
Yeah.
giant, and they would definitely set Jigsaw at least like $10,000 back every time. He's got to like hire contractors to do this for him.
Yeah. So ultimate verdict on that. Not a great movie.
If you've seen, if you like all the other Saw movies, you'll probably think that it's fine.
Okay.
So watch it. The gore scenes, it's not like graphically violent, really,
Hmm.
but there's enough that it's kind of fun.
Are there jump scares?
There are no jump scares.
Oh well, maybe I'll watch it then. Can't do jump scares.
I actually, yeah, there are. Never mind.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll still watch it because it's Chris Rock.
It's
Even though
there's
I
jump scares, but it's like there's nothing like that jumps out at you. It's
okay,
more things happen very suddenly, and you always know when it's about to happen.
got it.
This movie is really the same thing happening like 7 times, and then it stops.
How long is it?
Like 90 minutes. It's very short.
Oh, oh, okay, good.
It's shorter than most movies are right now. I remember we went into the theater and we left, and not like restaurants were still open when we
Oh,
were coming
cool.
back, and we went in at like 10. So
Is it on any streaming services? I guess not.
it might be on HBO Max. I don't know. I saw it in the theaters.
Yeah. All right.
So that's my review for Spiral.
That's great that it's Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson though. That's like
Samuel Jackson is also pretty good.
okay. Um,
I'm not gonna spoil anything,
yeah.
but one of the two gets, they find themselves in a saw trap.
Oh boy.
One of them. You've
Um,
just been sawed.
you should say that after every time someone's killed.
I feel like if I found myself in a saw trap, I could get out of it pretty easily.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. I admire your confidence.
I mean, if I was just like trapped with a saw to like a radiator, I don't think
Yeah.
I'd be able to. I feel like I wouldn't be able to cut off my own leg.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I just waste my time just trying to saw at the chain or at the radiator.
Yeah. That's
But
fair.
that's just me. It's because I've got survival instincts.
um, do you want to talk about that? The purge. It's the Forever Purge, right?
Oh, the Forever Purge was like I haven't seen the trailer for it.
Yeah, but this is a new Purge movie, and it's called The Forever Purge. So there's
Just
that.
crime is legal forever.
Yeah. Uh, um, what was I gonna say? Uh, yeah, this isn't your crime is legal purge. This is the Forever Purge. I believe this one. I read the description when I was watching the trailer, and it said this. It looks like it takes place in like the Wild Wild West. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
looked at a poster for it.
Um, so there's that. I think that should be more of the premise because in the description it said the purge has been like outlawed, and I don't know if they're just bringing it back for one time or people are bringing it back themselves. So
It
yeah,
says that this film will follow uh, a couple escaping a drug cartel,
yeah,
stranded on a Texas ranch.
hmm
A group of outsiders unlawfully continue their own purge.
yeah.
Wow.
What a bunch of outlaws! Really, that's what they are.
I feel like with all the purge movies, I only saw I saw the first one and I saw the most recent one,
hmm
like the election year one.
Yeah,
And I think they're in terms of like the action horror, cross between genres, I feel like a lot of times it ends up being really boring.
yeah,
But the Purge movies I think are fine. They're a fine little escape. They're one of the series that I think gets better as it went on.
yeah. I've seen one of them, but I forget which one it was. It was either the second or third one. Um, What's the second one called? I forget.
I think that was the Purge Anarchy was the second one.
Purge Anarchy. And then there's one that's like the first Purge,
Final
right?
Purge, yeah, the first Purge.
Yeah. Maybe it was the second one.
The Purge Anarchy was the second one. The third one was called like the Purge Election Year,
Yeah.
and the last one was called the First Purge.
Yeah.
And then I thought there was one called the Final Purge, but I think I'm mistaken.
I think this one is the last one. I think they said, or at least like the guy who has done them in the past is doing. I don't know if he's done all of them, but yeah.
I
Uh
thought it was weird. The first one I just remember not loving.
yeah.
Like it's such a grandiose concept. Like, hey, crime is legal for 12 hours, and it's just set inside some guy's house.
Hmm.
It's just a regular home invasion movie. You could have
Hmm.
done anything else with it,
Yeah.
but
If
eh,
the purge was real, what would you do? Oh, I'm sorry, I hit my microphone.
I just torrent a lot of movies.
Yeah, but do you think you would make it? Like, do you think you'd get killed along the way? I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah. I
I
don't
think
know.
it's one of those things where people, if crime was legal for 12 hours, I really don't think you'd see people just murdering one another in the streets.
Sure.
Because,
If people are going to do that, they would have done it anyway.
right, and if you do kill a person on like Monday when it's legal, you're going to see like that guy's family on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yep.
So, and even though murder's illegal later, murder can still happen.
Sure.
Maybe it's like on every other day, it's like a draconian police state. And then on one day, crime is just encouraged.
Yeah.
I feel like if crime was legal, you'd just see a lot of rioting. That's what
Sure.
happens in mass lawlessness. It's not full on just murder everyone. It's just like people break into stores and stuff.
Yeah. Um, I think I would probably just stay put. If I went somewhere like to try and run away or whatever, I would probably find my way into uh,
You
a
live close to the Canadian border, and I live close to the Mexican border. So
sure.
uh,
So we could just flee.
I would just drive like about 7 hours south about the day before.
Go the day before, right, I think. But would there be like a mass exodus, you think?
Well, I mean, what? Just go 2 days before. I don't know.
Yeah.
I imagine if the purge was real, I would leave like a week early and just kind of stay somewhere else. Just make sure I'm not on U.S. soil on the day of the purge.
Yeah, that's fair. And take all my important belongings.
Yeah, it's true. Your house will get broken into.
Yep.
But then, so if crime is legal in those days, I feel like you could just commit any crime and then be like, yeah, I did it on purge night.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I feel like some people would, it'd bring out the worst in people.
There would be a lot of people like buying a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
People would probably just buy like a lot of drugs on purge day and then just like stock it up or something.
Hmm. Um, what else? What else could people do? There'd be a lot of arson.
Yeah. A lot of
Uh,
white collar crime, probably. Like,
yeah.
I would not answer any email sent to me on.
Well, I do that anyway.
It's true.
Is that a crime, not answering emails?
No, no, no. Like phishing scams and stuff like that.
Oh,
See, that would stuff would be kind of going crazy, I think.
yeah. Yeah, right.
Broadcasting sports without express written consent.
The express written consent of the New York Jokers.
You just see people being the Joker.
Yeah. I would dress up as the Joker on the purge night.
You dress up as the Joker just to stay in your house.
Sitting on my Joker chair.
Did you get your Joker? Has it arrived yet?
They should start selling those. Like that guy made the original. Like he should start people have like fashion lines, like a chair line.
New and improved Joker products.
Yeah.
The secret ingredients. Ilex.
Get a free Joker laptop sticker with your order of 2 or more Joker chairs.
Imagine you just start like painting your stuff like green and like red and then putting haha over it and just selling it like, look at this new Joker bench, Joker
Yeah.
radio,
Yeah. my
Joker napkin.
yeah, my one of one used Joker uh uh solo cup.
Look at my Joker shirt. And it's just a
Yeah,
white
Joker shirt, yeah. Honestly, I have too many plain white t-shirts that I used to just wear as undershirts to school because we would like I would have to wear button-down shirts and tie to my high school. Very fancy, I know, and khakis. But I have too many of those, just plain white undershirts that I don't use now. So maybe I'll experiment and make some Joker shirts and see how much they go for on like eBay.
To the Joker, of course, that's just a regular
It's
shirt.
just a regular shirt.
So in order to keep in character, you have to just sell them as a shirt.
Right. If I was selling it to Joaquin Phoenix, he would be like, I already have a bunch of these. So thank
This
you
is
for
just
your
what
offer.
shirts look like to me.
Yeah, this is just my everyday, um, you know,
Selling crazy straws as just like straws.
yeah.
To the Joker, these are straws.
Yeah. All right. What else?
That's going to be a new marketing gimmick. It's just like you'll say to the
Yeah.
Joker, this is a reasonable price. It's
Official Joker shop.
to the Joker, these are our prices are so low. The Joker thinks that they're reasonable. These are reasonably fair
Yeah.
prices.
Um all right. Okay, one last thing. Uh Emily Blunt kind of said like she doesn't want to be in superhero movies, something like that. Do you I know everyone wants that her and John Krasinski to be our fantastic two of our fantastic four. Do you buy this?
Um, yeah, I mean, a lot of actors have said that,
Yeah.
and I do understand. I mean, Edward Norton, I'm pretty sure, wasn't he replaced as the Hulk because he was like, if
Yes.
you want to do things a certain way, and Marvel kind of doesn't really let you do that. And
Yeah.
fair. And the same thing with like directors who are like, I wouldn't. I don't think you'll ever see a director like Wes Anderson making like a Marvel movie just
Hmm.
because he's not, or like one like a Tarantino or something like that. I think a lot of people who say like I will not do a Marvel film,
Hmm.
I get that, and that's fair. And I imagine if I was a filmmaker, I probably would not want to do an MCU movie. I'm sure
Yeah.
if I was asked, I'd probably end up saying yes. But
Yeah.
like, I could imagine being a filmmaker not want. So I think maybe this just means Emily Blunt's not going to be in it. They never said Emily Blunt was going to do it. This is
Exactly.
a thing that people made up in their heads
Yeah,
and
people
themselves was real.
when people fan cast and like a lot of people agree with it, it just gets out there and everyone wants it to be true. Most of the time it doesn't happen though. Like,
I
I'm
think the
sure.
one time it actually worked was like the Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, but even then,
Right.
already had played Deadpool at that point.
Yeah, he was in the X-Men, he was in the Wolverine movie.
Yeah,
Um Yeah, I don't know. I think John Krasinski would be great as Mr. Fantastic. I haven't seen Emily Blunt in really anything. Obviously it'd be cool to see them together, but I think if anything, I'd rather just see John Krasinski because like he was almost Captain America, and like I think he's a good leading man.
I
And
didn't really watch The Office, nor did I watch his whole, CIA
oh,
play.
Jack Ryan is
Yeah,
that what
Jack Ryan. I
yeah,
never saw that. I
never
did
saw
see A
that either.
Quiet Place, and I thought, oh yeah, I guess he could be a good scientist. I'm sure he's
Yeah,
good with like some white hair. So
right.
fine. But like, you could really with a lot of these movies, they do well with the casting, but you could cast anyone.
Yeah, yeah, it's not the end of the world if we don't see it. I just would like John Krasinski if possible. Like if we could only get one, I
Yeah.
think I would like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably she's probably not lying, like Andrew Garfield was, but
Hey,
um,
Andrew Garfield, maybe he wasn't lying.
well,
Maybe it's not a real movie.
well, I was watching something. I was watching like the Emily Blunt interview. I saw this on Instagram, and she like looked straight into the camera. It was a Howard Stern interview, and she was like looking right into the camera when she was saying like we haven't received a call, like it's just fan casting. And when Andrew Garfield, you'll have to be watching the video of our podcast to really understand this, see our beautiful faces, but and that's on our YouTube. But when Andrew Garfield's getting interviewed, he's like, well, like I don't know, like I never received a call, or like I have no idea what these fans are talking about. He's like looking side to side and keeps stammering. He's like, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that one of them was lying.
I think with the Emily Blunt thing, I think it's safe to assume that she's just not going to be in these.
Yeah, she's too busy being Mary Poppins.
Are they going to make another one of those?
I don't know.
I think the first one did pretty well, actually. So
Did they make one with her, or was it two?
it was one. It was just
It
the
was
Mary
just one.
Poppins. It was
Okay. For
Mary
some
Poppins.
reason, I thought they might have had two. But yeah,
Mary
I don't know.
Poppins. And that one also had Dick Van Dyke.
And Lin-Manuel.
Oh yeah, and Meryl Streep. It had a lot of people in it.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, did you
I
see
didn't
it?
know Meryl Streep was in it.
I remember being pleasantly surprised by that film.
Okay.
A lot of spirited magic.
It's Mary Poppins. Did you watch anything interesting this week?
Oh, besides Spiral from the Book of Saw, I did not watch anything too
Okay.
interesting. I did see the film, one of my old favorites, Inherent Vice. Watched it again.
Mm.
Pretty good. Pretty good. I've been on kind of a Paul Thomas Anderson watching spree. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I watched Boogie Nights
Hmm.
last week. Watched this one this week. What does the future hold for me? Who knows? He's making a new movie this year.
Okay.
And you know what? I feel like he's one of those movie makers who's got like basically a perfect track record. So
Hmm.
excited to see what he comes up with.
Good for him. I
Good
have
for
a
them.
perfect track record when it comes to movies too, because I haven't made any. Um,
Zero, and they're all great.
I'm 0 for 0. I watched, well, so I started watching It's Always Sunny, like, I feel like a couple months ago, and I just like I don't know. I watched the first episode and then just didn't feel motivated, and now I'm like actually watching it and I am enjoying it. And I don't know why I never watched it, because obviously I am in that area. I relate to these characters somewhat because they're in Philadelphia, and though I am not in Philadelphia, I know a lot about it.
You're gonna say relating these characters because I also commit white collar crime on a daily.
Right. I'm also the Joker. Um, and I think I've decided that my career is going to look a lot like Rob McElhenney's career, because I was reading about him last night. I was like, you ever get in those, like, you're up at like 1 a.m. and you're just like, I just want to like read stuff about, something or someone. So I looked into Rob McElhenney and I went on the Wikipedia. Turns out, I didn't actually know this. He went to the school that is the rival of my high school, St. Joseph's Prep. I, of course, went to LaSalle, which is better. And I'm sorry, Rob McElhenney.
Which
I actually
you
saw
now
Rob.
have to work hard enough to become the president of Fox and then cancel.
Yeah.
It's up.
Um, so yeah, I saw Rob McElhenney when I was at a Phillies game one time. Me and my family went to my favorite player of all time, baseball player, Chase Utley, for the Philadelphia Phillies. He also played for the Dodgers at the end of his career, but he was my favorite player growing up. Had a big, it's called a fat head of him in my room right there. It's no longer there, and I'm sorry. But it was his retirement ceremony. Like, the Phillies were retiring. It was, well, they didn't retire anything. I think it was just like the year after he retired. They just had like a night for him, I guess. I forget exactly what it was. But there's a moment in one of the episodes of the show where Mac writes a letter to Chase Utley and he wants to have a catch with him. And Rob McElhenney at Chase Utley's retirement night threw out the first pitch to Chase Utley. So how cool is that? They finally got to have their catch. But anyway, we have a lot in common, me and Rob McElhenney. He loves Chase Utley. He went to a high school in the near Philadelphia area. Um, and I also read that he didn't go to college. he went to he moved to New York City when he was 18 or 19, which I'm of course 19. So is Evan. Um, and he like got a dorm in Fordham. I think he was with his friends and he got a dorm there and he just lived there and he got a meal plan too. No one knew he wasn't a student there until he auditioned for one of their plays. He was just like an actor at the time. I don't know what exactly he was doing, but he got the lead in the school play. And then they figured out who he was and they were like, "Wait, you don't go to school here. You can't be the lead." So I also am not currently going to college. I did one semester, which is actually where I met Evan. So Rob McElhenney, if you're listening to this, we have a lot more in common than you think. And I'm soon going to write something like you wrote and become famous for it.
You're gonna write your new coming of age story. It's Dazed and Confused, but it's in Pennsylvania.
Right. So not dazed and confused, because that can't take place in Pennsylvania.
It's what's the opposite of Dazed and Confused? It's well
It's
well balanced and
well
sturdy.
balanced, yeah, and clear minded. What was the word you
Well,
said?
I guess the opposite of dazed is
Yeah,
just clear, and opposite of confused is so clear and understanding.
understanding, clear and understanding. Yes, that's my movie. So I'm sorry I ranted, not ranted. I wasn't angry. I'm sorry I gave you Rob McElhenney's origin story, but
No, this is how Mr. McElhenney became the Rob.
yeah, I thought it was so cool though because it was like it
He
was a little
basically
inspiring.
was you.
Yeah, I like we have a lot in common, and I'll meet you one day, Rob McElhenney, and tell you that I was at the Phillies game when you had your catch with Chase Utley, and then I'll say, "Can you find Chase Utley so I can have a catch with him?" Because I love Chase Utley, and we will have that catch one day. All right, letterbox reviews.
All right. We've both got three.
We do both have three. That's good
Do you
math.
want to go first this time?
Yeah, I'll go first because this was something you had previously mentioned. Actually, it's for the movie Spiral. This is a 1.5 star review from Brianna, and she says Chris Rock workshops some stand-up material in this.
He does. He actually I didn't even read that review.
Yeah,
Like he spends a large majority of this movie just going like doing stand-up routines. That's the first thing he does when you see him. He's
you
doing
think
like
that was like in his contract for the movie?
maybe there was no script. They just they just told him what it was about and they just let him speak.
Sorry, my grandparents are here, and I didn't know what was happening. I'm back now, and we're recording. Continue.
But a majority of that movie is just like it's like they left the camera running and they're just like,
Yeah,
"Hey, Chris, improvise something.
yeah,
Do
right.
your Marty from Madagascar thing."
Yeah, there you go.
My first review is 1.5 stars. It is for 2020's hit action thriller Wonder Woman 1984 from Jay, who says,
Okay.
somehow that black and white Imagine video isn't the worst thing Gal Gadot was responsible for.
That's pretty good.
Now, this aged like fine wine,
Yeah,
as this is now this is the third most embarrassing thing Gal Gadot has done
yeah.
since the pandemic has started. And hopefully when we're old and embarrassing, we
Uh-huh.
can look back at times like these when we were the ones making jokes, and we can look at this with nostalgia.
Yeah. All right. I have a 3-star review for The Purge here. Oh, I my screenshot of the review cut off the name, so I'm sorry whoever this is. But this person says, "How to win The Purge. 1. live in a country that doesn't have the purge, say Canada. It's pretty close to America, but they still have laws and stuff. Also, they're polite. Number 2, learn to hack, like really well. 3, on the night of the purge, sneak from Canada into the US. This is illegal immigration, and so it is completely illegal. Number 4, move into the base you've pre-booked from Canada. Hack the SIJT, sorry for the language, out of
Wait.
everyone's bank account. Steal all of the money in America. This is highly illegal and hence legal. Step 5. With your ill-gotten gains, sneak back to Canada before illegal immigration becomes illegal again. Number 6. With said gains, stage a coup. Get rid of the dumb ASS, again, sorry for the language, government who instigated the purge. They're bankrupt because you have all their money, so it should be fairly easy. Number 7. You now have all of the money, and you are the ruler of America. The purge no longer exists, so nobody can do the same to you. Congratulations, you've won the purge. And sounds complicated, but it's probably not because everything's legal.
Oh, see, I was confused for a minute. I thought you said sneak into Canada, which would be illegal immigration.
Right.
I was going to say that in Canada, the purge isn't happening, so they can still arrest you for illegal immigration,
Mm,
which, you know, either way. Really, sneaking in or sneaking out. Canada does not honor the purge, I imagine.
yeah.
And also, as a Canadian citizen, you wouldn't be subject to any of the rules regarding the purge, so you might be able to be arrested anyway.
Yeah. Well,
They
there
never
you go.
really talked about that in the movie.
No, they didn't.
At least I don't remember. Those movies were very long.
Yeah.
For my second review
Hmm.
is for 2010's action thriller Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah.
which David Sims gives 1/2 star and
No.
says the worst looking movie ever made. Now, that wouldn't alone suffice to be a good enough review, but I wanted to point this out, and this is where a visual component becomes handy because the letterbox included, a still of the movie,
Hmm.
and I really just got to look at how washed out and ugly this movie looks.
Yeah.
Just totally, totally hideous.
Yeah. You'll
And
have to watch video to, of course, understand this.
or and I would hate to recommend this to someone. I would also have to recommend watching Alice in Wonderland to really have this sink in because the movie does look like it was left out in the sun for a day. Like it's so colorful but also so dry and
Yeah.
dilapidated and everything looks old and dirty.
Hmm.
And it's CGI'd, but it's kind of like in The Hobbit where everything's really CGI, and so they'll have these big, like majestic landscapes, but none of it looks real. It looks like a DeviantArt drawing, and it's just a whole movie of that. Like
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Um, this isn't a letterbox review, but this is a meme I just saw on Twitter because I must confess I was scrolling Twitter for a minute.
Wow, wow.
And I talk about the show Invincible on here. So here's a meme, as the kids say, and you'll have to be watching video to see this. It says, "If the show's called Invincible, then why can I see it?" This has
Don't
52.8K likes.
I don't understand. That's not what invincible means. Can you please explain the joke to me?
Okay, my third and final review is for The Purge Anarchy, and this is 2.5 stars from Liam F. And he says, "Consider me old-fashioned, but the lack of good manners in this film is utterly appalling." And I agree, because it has anarchy in the title, and I assume anarchy ensues.
I Purge Anarchy was one of the ones I didn't see, so but I do believe Anarchy. I forgot, is that the one where had they gone neon purge by that movie? I cannot remember.
I don't know.
So I remember at a certain point in it had by a purge election year, but at a certain point in the purge marketing, they turned into like, oh, it's neon purge. This is
Good.
Mario Baba's The Purge.
Yeah, that's good.
So my third review is from fellow podcaster Probably shouldn't say fellow. I don't think we're on the same, tier
Joe
level.
Rogan?
No one gives us money. No, actually, another controversial podcaster though.
Yeah.
From Chapo Trap House's Matt Christman, who gives Basket Case from 1982, which I talked about in a previous episode.
Yeah.
He gives it 3 stars and says, "There's something maniacally impressive about a movie where the only good performance comes from a screaming flesh basketball," which is a good write-up of the Basket Case
Yeah.
saga.
Okay. I'm sure it is. I haven't seen the movie though.
Oh, it's on if you have Tubi, I love Tubi because it's every bad movie that I love for free.
I feel like I've seen stuff on there for free before.
They've got like,
So I guess I do have it, even though I don't.
yeah, well, you don't need a subscription for it, is the thing.
Yeah.
You can just like download it. Like I have it on my Apple TV.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to watch some random old slasher. I want to go watch Slaughter High or Basket Case.
Yeah.
It's there. It's free. You could watch it.
All right. Maybe I'll do it. All right, everyone. I unfortunately don't know when our next episode will be. We'll have to see with our schedule. Ryan Johnson's got us on a tight, tight shooting schedule. We're in the majority of the movie, so
Yes.
we'll try to keep you updated, but no promises for next Friday.
I play the narrator who is a character, and this is one of those movies that begins with a guy opening a book, and he's like,
Yeah,
the story of Knives Out.
and then it goes into the pages of the book.
Yeah,
Or like when the book opens, we see the mansion that the movie's going to take place in, but it's like one of those pop-up books, like those
yeah.
3D books, and you like go
And we
in.
hear some like a whimsical music,
Yeah,
like this is the story of Knives Out by Ryan Johnson,
that'd be
and then
great.
they're transported to the world.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll let you know when our first trailer drops, but that might be the next time you see us. So I'm sorry.
On screen in Knives Out too.
All right. Yeah. So hope you enjoyed, and like I said, we'll see you when we see you.